We back one more time. Y'all see it. The whole new design up there. The Rich Man, Poor Man podcast brought to you by Inside the Nation Radio. On Super Bowl Sunday. That's what they were just talking about behind the scenes. Me personally, I don't no longer watch Super Bowl. These jokers talking about making bets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I tell you what. Give me that money. Give me the money. I'll save it for you. I put it somewhere where it's going to grow it. All right, but we back again, y'all. Rich Man, Poor Man podcast. Back with my 4 co-hosts, Tiara, Rick, Judah, Darash, and Tasha. We back again, but we're going over budgeting. Who is in the crowd yet? I see Savon. Hey, are we saying that? Savon, put a 1 in there if I said that right, because I think I got it this time. Because Darash was like all confident last time. Oh, Savon, trying to be all proper and Savon is how you say it. I see Jason. Who else? That's all I see so far. Hey, Savon, put that 1 in there if I said that correctly, though. Hey, but this is a good one that y'all definitely want to be a part of, man. Budgeting. If you wasn't on the Clubhouse Friday, this is what we're going over yet again. You know what I'm saying? Shalom Lawson. All right. What's up, bro? What's up? What's that? Mackie? Can y'all read that?
Mackie Wacky. Mackie Wacky did you?
My bad, bro. I ain't mean to mess you up like that.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. What's that again? Mackie Wacky did you?
Mackie Wacky did you?
When I first saw it, my eyes just went crazy.
Yeah, I thought of Wacko Jacko, like they say about Michael Jackson. It's the first thing I thought about.
I didn't know what it was. Slick Predator, what's up, bro? Listen, again, budgeting. We about to go over a real important one. If you were not on the Clubhouse, man, you missed a good one. I think, did we have replays on that one?
Yes.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to. But
you was nice for that one.
Huh?
I said you was nice for that one.
I was nice for that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
you did that?
this is why you need a new assistant. She don't listen.
Yeah, remind me to fight
It
her
was
after
an
this.
accident.
Remind me to fight her after this. So anyway, but no, for real, important information that we all need, man. We've been going over everything, trying to get this information out to our people, to they people, to your people, to my people, to the world. You know what I mean? Everybody. This is information. Anybody. You could be tall, short, black, white, blue, purple. It don't matter who you are. You know what I mean? This information works for everybody, rich, poor. And what we're doing, we're really trying to get it to those individuals who may not be in the best financial situation, or your credit might not be the best. The whole point is the information works for whoever, as long as you make it work. You know what I mean? There's no, you got to be at this level of finances for it to work for you. Y'all know how it go. Oh, it's not gonna work for me. This ain't the mindset to have for this type of information. It can work for anybody, but in order for it to work for you, you still have to know how to budget your finances. Like Tasha can tell you, Tiara can tell you. Like me, before I spend anything, I have to justify it. It gotta make sense to me. It gotta make sense. Y'all see this? This thing right here? I'm talking on this mic arm. How long it took me to buy this thing? Months, right? Months, right? Now, mind you, before I probably would have saved up $25 here, $30 here, and I would have went and bought it because I want it, right? I wanted this, but now that I can go buy a million of these things if I want to, but it's like it took me forever to go and buy it, though. Like it took me months to. I had to finally tell myself this was an investment for me to buy it. Why? Because my mindset's changed. I have a completely different mindset. And it's crazy how your mindset changes once you start getting to certain levels, right? But it should change. And once your mindset changes, you see everything else will change with it, including your finances. You're not just going out and buying everything. Like if I go buy something, I went and bought a SUV. That's a business purchase. I enjoy it. It's my SUV. I drive it every day. But guess what? That's a business purchase. Right? I get to write that off. Why? Because I'm using it for business. So it's like your mindset got to change with where you're going. And when you do that, you justify everything and then boom. But we gonna get into some good budgeting, because once you start getting the money, you don't want to get the money then start blowing the money, right? Know how to use it, know what to do with it. You know what I mean? I know Darash got a 1,000,001 budgeting tips. You know what I mean? Tiara got some. I know. Listen, wait, am I pointing in the right direction? That guy right there? Mm-hmm. That guy right there can
Rick.
That joke. Hey, listen, budgeting is. I know he budgets. Like I used to be listening to him like, damn, like I used to be like, I wish I can like save money like that. I could never do it. But he used to tell me what he would do, and I was like, okay, cool. And the one, if you look over him to the other side, like she's I told y'all in the clubhouse how she got mad at me because I took my spending money and paid the light bill. Y'all remember that was on the club?
Oh yeah, she told
I was like, I'm looking like, hell, your problem. Because I paid the bill, like paid the bills. You know what I mean? But no, I get it now though. But budgeting, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's the budgeting. So Daraj, take us away, man. What? How can the average everyday person who may be living from check to check take that money and make it grow? How do we save? What would you say the first step is?
Man, the first step for me, and this is the first step I recommend for pretty much anyone, because some people don't have. Well, let me clarify. Some people have money to save and allow to grow, but they just don't know where it's at. And what I mean by that is, they're like, man, I don't have any money. I'm always broke. I got all these bills to pay. But then you look and you have what's called an expense sheet. And you look at all of your monthly expenses and you realize, no, you spend a lot of money on going out. You spend a lot of money on takeout food. You spend a lot of money on shoes. You spend a lot of money on clothes. You spend a lot of money on drink, alcohol, whatever it is, right? So for me, I would say the first thing to do is create a spreadsheet. I think Tierra, was it you that said for the spreadsheet, they have apps, they have software where you pretty much can just plug and play?
Yeah, I just downloaded, I believe it's called Mint. Mint is one that I wanted to look into that they said is a really good one for budgeting and managing your expenses.
There's another app called Every Dollar that's pretty good too. You can kind of keep up with everything.
Right.
YNAB.
Let me ask this. Everybody who's watching right now, there's like 11 people watching at this point. Put a 1 in the comment section if you have an expense sheet. Put a 1 in the comment section if you have an expense sheet.
And use it.
Yeah.
Now that's
the
key.
Yeah.
Because I would create them for a while and then I would never look at them again until I was like, I need to start tracking my expenses. But oh, wait, I made one. I just never went to revisit it again. So make sure you use it.
It's the same thing I'll be doing.
It's what, February 2023. Tierra's expense sheet says July 2019.
Jocelyn put 1 and 2. Let me get. Did you fat finger the first one and went with 2 that you don't have it, or have one but
Excel
don't use
is
it?
good too.
Okay.
Excel is what I use.
Yeah.
He said he has one, but he doesn't use it. That's why he put 1 and 2.
Okay.
At least he's honest. At least he's honest.
You never realize how much money you spent until you look back at your expenses. Like I went through all of my statements to track how much food I bought last year. I need a whooping.
So check this out, right? So me and Tasha did this like once or twice. How many times did we do this? We did a couple times, right? We went like, I'm like, man, you know, I make good money. I'm making decent money. Like I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was making good money. And I'm like, wow, every pay period we broke, right? And I'm like, damn, what's going on? So we sat down and we just went through like the fast food, because life, you know, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I gotta do this. Let's buy a hamburger. Make it short. Think it's fast, right?
Yeah.
Man, we went back through, what was it, Tasha? $300-$400 a month just in fast food alone.
Just in fast food alone.
Yeah, I spent thousands.
Kids.
Yeah. You know what happens though? You know what happens though? The prices change, but your mind don't change. Your mind's not changing with the prices. And what I mean by that is this, right? Because I remember when I was in high school, Tierra, you probably weren't born. I remember when I was back in high school.
Doubt it.
When I was in high school, right? My dad used to give me $5 every day to go to school, right? And I used to take those $5 and I could take $2.50 and go to McDonald's right in front of the school, you know. I ain't saying nobody go to McDonald's. You eat that. This was high school. It was 30 years ago. Anyway, so I would take $2 and I can go get me something to eat and a drink. And afterwards, I can go get me a burger and a drink and everything. Or I can get me a whole value meal. I save it to after school and get a value meal, $4, $5 change, right? That was a whole value meal. Now, when you're going to McDonald's, mind you, a value meal like $10 now. It's double the price. So you think you still
can't even get you a Happy Meal,
right? You can't even get a Happy Meal with that. So you going through that drive-through in your mind, you still thinking you paying the same price. You hear them saying $50 for a chicken nugget. but you just pay it, right? Your mind is still way back when you used to always go, but now the inflation, the prices are going up, and you're still doing the same thing. You got to change what you're doing. This ain't 1990s no more. You know, I know the 90s was the best, the 80s and the 90s, but, you know, we in 2022? 23. Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad.
3 now.
223. So you got to change your approach. But anyway, back to the expense sheet.
Yeah. And I just found out the hard way that stuff is really inflating. Like I just went to the store to buy me a granola bar, and I'm thinking I bought 2 of them. I had them in my hand. The price rang up, and it said $2.10. I'm like, what? I'm like, they thought these are a quarter. You know what happened to a quarter?
Rick was like, Rick was like $2.10. Let me slide these in my pocket.
I went to buy fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. That's all I had in the cart. It came to like $74. I'm like, how? I need them, so I'm gonna buy them. But my goodness, for some carrots.
Yeah.
Do you remember when chips used to be 25 cents too? And that's changed now. It's like you go buy chips for the kids and they want like 75 cents to $1 for
the little bags used to be
For
like
the
10 cents.
little bags.
They charge you more to kill you now. They used to kill you for free back then. Now they charging me like, hey, listen, I gotta charge them more. Killing them is like really hard. Let me charge them more to kill them now. That's really what they're doing.
I wanted to go back to something that Darash had said the other day, even before you're getting into budgeting, is knowing the difference between a want and a need. And a lot of us struggle with that. We try to rationalize what we want or make it make sense, even though deep down in the back of our minds, you know, now isn't the time. I don't need this. I can cook the food at home, but we go do it anyway. And then 5 years from now, we still crying that we broke when we're blowing all this money because we're trying to justify the wants when our wants can wait.
Yep.
Yeah,
and the
50,
crazy
30,
part
20
is,
rule.
yeah, and the crazy part is because we're definitely going to get to that. But when we look at like the expense sheet, right? Like, for example, I go to the gas station, and this is one thing that I know that I could save a lot of money on, right? I'll go to the gas station and I use my debit card. Now, when I use my debit card, there's a 35-cent debit card transaction. Now I go there.
What type of debit card you got?
my Chase, it's my Chase debit card, but at the gas station, depending on which gas station you go to, sometimes some Mobil, some Arcos, some Chevrons, they have the, I guess, whatever transaction you go through, it's a 35-cent fee.
They make you pay their fee.
Yeah, basically. and so I'm at the gas station like almost every other day. So you got to think that I've literally put out maybe $4 or $5 for the week just in doing that alone, because I'm actually probably more than that, because I also have to gas up my wife's car. And so probably like $5 to $7, almost $10 a week just on that alone. Wow. 52 weeks. I done just spent $500 just off of the 35 cent. It's little things. And so I also said it, and we're going to get.
You spent $500 off 35 cents?
Basically.
Good.
So if I go
Lord.
to I go to the gas station probably 2 or 3 times a week for my car, then I go to the gas station for my wife's car probably like 2 or 3 times a week. So that's about $5 to $7, almost $10, depending on the week, depending on how much we're running around, and then you multiply that by the 52 weeks in the calendar year, and again, it's just 35 cents. You don't think much of it. I remember I sat back and I said, wait a minute, and I did a expense sheet in my mind. I said, okay, I spend this much a week, means I spend this much a month, times 12. Yo, I'm wasting a couple $100 for no reason. But that's the importance of an expense sheet,
what, though?
right?
Really quickly before you go into that expense sheet, if you guys know that there are now cards, and write this down in the chat. There are now cards, and one of them is called an extra card. And there are others too, but it links to your bank account. And when you use it, it builds your credit because they report your purchases to the bureaus. It's called Extra. That's called Extra. EXTRA. It's called an extra card. Now, I typically say use credit cards, but if you're going to use your debit card, get an extra card, right? An extra card. And there are others too, but I think probably the extra is probably like the better one. There is a small fee. I think is it like $14 a month? But whatever. Look up extra card. Get that. So now when you're swiping your card, that is going towards your credit and building your credit. With that being said, I know this is a budgeting show today, but if you got 99 collections, extra ain't gonna do you no good. You might well just stay with
right.
it. But if you got 99 collections on your credit report, make sure you get that off. And we're actually revamping the website as well right now. And I'm going to have the section on there where you can just go to the website, download the forms, and you will be able to fix your credit. All right. So just go and download the forms to fix your credit. But for now, get your extra card. Go ahead, Darash.
Yeah, that's absolutely needed. First of all, yeah, please get your credit right. Oh my goodness, people really are very illiterate when it comes to credit. But we'll get to that later.
He should be dissing people with bad credit. He did that in the clubhouse too.
Right.
Absolutely. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why I do that, right? Because as an adult, you should be ashamed of yourself. Your credit is your name. That's like saying every time Tierra says, "Hey, can I borrow this money? I'll pay you back. I promise." Nah, I can't trust her. She got a bad name. She got a bad reputation. That's what the credit is.
That's a good way of putting that.
That's true.
Yeah,
But her reputation bad for real though. So, but go ahead.
Don't listen to him. He just playing. He just playing.
and so my thing is, you should really be ashamed of yourself if your credit is low. You need to get that together. But
well, there are some situations. I got on the other hand, there are some situations where, like, I've been in a situation where things just went and my credit went with it. So now, if you are, I would say to Darash's point, if you're just not in that type of situation and you're just really just too lazy to do what you got to do to fix your credit, then yeah, I agree with Darash. You got to be ashamed of yourself. You got to do something.
Right.
Don't just be lazy.
Right.
Because that can go into just how you pay people back that somebody know you borrow $50 and you just, hey man, I ain't got it. The next week you keep on going back, I ain't got it. And then you turn into Stewie and Brian.
Where's my money?
Yep.
Yeah.
I be getting those inboxes too. Hey man, one brother hit me up. He was like, "Hey, can you help me out?" I said, "All right." So I sent him $50. Like 4 days later, right after that, I sent him another like $50. Tasha can tell you. So he was like, "I'm trying to do this." I sent him $500. Do you know that dude hit me back the next day? Can you help me get something to eat? Man, what the hell you did with that $500? I blocked him the next day. So what he was doing, like, I would try and help individuals, but you can't let people use you at the same time. I was really believing, okay, he probably got one over on me, but I give and I let God look over it, right? So when you hit me back the next day, somebody, can I help you get something to eat? Nah, brother, block, and I got rid of him. So, but that's his credit. His credit was bad. Ain't never tried to pay me back on the initial, So that's people for you. But anyway, my bad. I just had to tell that story real quick.
No, that's good. That's honestly, that's shameless. You should really be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
For
real.
like that.
No
Hey,
deep.
and as a dude too, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Living up. Well, I ain't gonna say that.
Right. Just your male ego just hit like that's crazy. But no, when we're talking about like expense sheets, getting back to the point, what you want to do is, there are apps out there. I gave a few. Me personally, I have an Excel spreadsheet. Excel, actually, when you open up Excel, they have different templates for certain things. They have an expense sheet template. I use that personally. And then you can modify it to however you need it to be. Place in all of your expenses: rent or mortgage, gas bill, power bill, fuel, how much gas you're using in your cars, car note, credit card debt,
Netflix,
other loan debt, but now see,
Netflix should not be on anybody's expense sheet. You better find somebody with Netflix and ask them to borrow the passcode.
they're doing away with that
Listen.
now. They about to
Pay
shut
though.
it down.
Well, until they do, I could be
gotta pay it.
I'd be a multimillionaire.
gotta
I'm
pay
like,
it.
hey man, let me hold your
Darn it.
You're a
Let
millionaire.
me borrow
Still.
y'all Netflix password.
Now, but and see, that's where we get into what Tierra expressed earlier: needs versus wants, right? So people will be like, man, I don't have no money. I got all these bills. You don't really have all these bills. It's just that you got 12 subscriptions and they're all $10 a piece. So you're spending an extra $120 a month. You see that? Look, I have a feelings just got hurt. So you got MGM, you got Epix, you got HBO, you got Showtime, you got Disney, and it's like you got all of these things, and you saying you don't have money. But how often do you really get on all of these things? So we have to, again, separate the needs from the wants. Like, okay, if you watch one particular show or series, whatever, boom, get that. If you got all of these, that means you got too much time on your hands anyways. You're not being productive. So check yourself, right? So when we're dealing with expense sheets, make sure that you are labeling every single expense you have, all the debt that you have, and then see how much you make, or look at your income and say, okay, these are the things I need to pay down. These are the things that I'm okay with. Whatever the things are fixed, like your mortgage, unless you pay it down to a certain amount and then you refi, and then you probably got a lower payment. Right. But Car note, same thing. Unless you refinance, it's going to be the same. Car insurance going to be the same. It kind of fluctuates, but for the most part, it's the same. But lay everything out on the expense sheet.
My expense sheet is right there. Not him, the one next to him. That's my expense sheet. Yeah.
That's the expense sheet.
Yep. She just lay everything out.
I would say she
I
probably
go
had
through and label everything, and then I do an assessment, because it's not only, like you said, it's the little fees that catch you. It's the going to the vending machine and paying $1.20 for some M&Ms, or $1.75 for some chips, or $2 for some Snickers, because in the vending machine the prices are inflated. And then it's the ATM fees. So if you can't get to your bank, you haven't taken out enough money for the week. Let's say you have a cash transaction, and you're like, well, there's another bank. For convenience, I'm going to go ahead and pay their $3 fee. And then my bank is going to charge me $1.50 for their processing fee. So altogether, that transaction, you taking out money, actually costs you $4.50.
Right.
And Google free ATMs in your area. I refuse to pay another ATM fee, so I'll Google who takes my car for free, and I'll just go to that ATM if I need to.
That's the best thing to do. Yeah, because it saves you.
Yeah, and all that stuff we were talking about as far as like IULs, mutual funds, the real estate. Yeah, we're giving you all, the nuggets, like how to go out and get it. But if you can't budget, then it's gonna be pointless. It's definitely gonna be pointless.
But and to the point of what everyone's saying, what a lot of times we forget is that, it sounds like a little bit of work, but it's not hard. It's really not. It just takes a little effort. Like even the expense sheet. Yeah, I got to sit there and think, or I got to go look at my bank statements. How much is my rent every month? How much is my gas bill every month, or my water bill, or my power bill? Okay, let me go double check my car note, my insurance. Okay, it takes a little work, but you're doing it to save money. You're doing it to put yourself in a financially more independent, advantageous position. So why would it not be worth it? Is not financial freedom worth it?
Hey, can I internet high five Hebrew daughter though? She just now said Netflix announced for a small fee, share your Netflix location. So hey, look, what's up, man? That's
you know what Netflix did? Mama. Netflix did what we should have been doing. Hey man, let me use your account for a small fee.
Give me $1. Give me $2.
You could have lent it out to everybody. See, it's hustle. It's all about that hustle. But they got it first.
Right. And they've had to monetize it. Go ahead,
because I think they said they were losing, I don't know, maybe millions of dollars and people sharing. And I understand when they're like, all right, we let y'all do this for years. Y'all gonna have to pay us now because it's getting ridiculous.
Right.
I like it being ridiculous though. I like that.
That's
right. Sharon is caring.
Oh
Sharon
my
is
goodness.
caring.
But in addition to the expense sheet, like Tiara said earlier, you got to keep up with it. You got to make sure that you're using it, because if you're not using it, then it's a waste. It's like it don't make no sense.
So here's a question for you. What about the individual who doesn't, their expenses, and it's not Netflix, it's not those things? What about those individuals who are not overspending, but they just their income is not as much as their expenses, their rent, their car note, things of that nature? Now what?
Well, then we have to look at what are the wants that you're spending on, because if you absolutely have zero wants, well, then we're doing what's called living above our means. There's no way that your expenses should be outweighing your income, because you should know from the rip what you can and can't afford. And if you didn't realize that, or if you don't realize that, well, you might need some financial advisor.
What do you mean by like living above your means? Like so my rent's $2,500. Downsize.
Okay. So this actually takes us to what I wanted to touch on next, the 50-30-20 rule, right? So when I'm saying living above your means, I'm saying you make less than you have to put out every month, right? And so as a general rule of thumb, this is not across the board. It can be modified according to your expenses right now. It's called the 50-30-20 rule. So what that is 50% of your income goes to your needs. So let's say you make $4,500 a month, $5,000. Let's say $5,000 a month, right? 50% of that, 2,500 should go towards your needs, right? So,
but what if their needs are, all right, rent is 2,500, my car note's 1,000. I'm using bigger numbers, so that's 3,500 a month right there alone, and I only make $2,500 a month myself. Now what? Do I just give up my car?
Then it's time for you to downsize. If your rent costs $2,500 a month and you only make $2,500 a month, we need to figure out how to get us in a place. Because here's the thing: a lot of times we don't want to sacrifice for the short term to succeed in the long term, right?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Hey, really quick, man, listen, if y'all got any input, those who are watching, call in. The number's on the screen, 866-466-2739. If you got a budgeting strategy that you know of, call in. Let us know. We want to hear from y'all too. 866-466-2739.
So if we're in a situation where you make, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000 a month, and you're saying, well, my rent is $2,500 a month. Well, it's time for you to move somewhere else. It may not be as comfortable. It may not be as luxurious as you want it to be, but you're trying to set yourself up for long-term success. You're not going to gain long-term success if you're just sitting there living check to check. You can't call off sick. You better pray you don't get fired, because if you do, you're going to be out on your behind.
I know somebody who on the edge of getting fired, like daily. Like just every day she's on the edge of getting fired. What'd you say, Tasha?
No, I was going to say, I think Darash made a very good point about sacrificing now. So sometimes too, with your budget, you got to get creative. It's either you're going to work more hours, get an additional job, or be uncomfortable in life. And sometimes that can be you house hacking. Hey, I got to rent a room out, so I'm going to have to deal with another individual, in my space. I can't have my personal space, because then you guys can split the cost. Think about it. You automatically saved 50% on the light bill, on the mortgage or the rent. Or hey, again, with getting creative, leave your apartment or your home, get a duplex, and you guys split the mortgage on the duplex.
Right.
That way it's a win-win for you both.
Can you clarify, like, because it's funny, people don't do well with percentages, but people do well with numbers. So what does that look like? You split it in half. What does that look like?
So that looks like half of whatever your income is. So let's say,
so like, give them some numbers so they can hear it.
Four people left. As soon as she said that, man, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like, I ain't roommating with nobody. But hey, they dipped soon as she said that.
Oh man.
So let's say out of that, we're going with the same 50-30-20 rule. So $5,000 is the amount that you make per month. Right now, you're paying that $2,500 by yourself for your income. You cut it down to half, it'll be $1,250 for your needs, because you're sharing your needs with everybody. Everybody's using the water. Everybody's using the electricity. Everybody's using the cable, the internet. Everybody's taking care of the mortgage. So you end up breaking that down, that $2,500 to, what is it, 2,500 equals
1,250.
So 1,250 would be the amount that you end up having. Look at that.
So you save $1,000 over $1,000 a month just by doing something as simple as that.
Well, so the thing is, are you willing to place yourself in an uncomfortable situation in order to save that, in order to bring yourself out of that situation? So I got to go in the uncomfortable situation in order to save, so I can come out of the hole. Sometimes that's what it takes, because like what we've been talking about throughout the the shows about what we've been doing as far as trying to make our money grow. Before we got to that point, we were in a really uncomfortable situation, and we had to deal with that uncomfortable situation. Really quick, the numbers on the screen is 866-466-2739. Yakira says that $2,500 is standard for a 2-bedroom here.
Where are you at? Oh man, I don't want to go there.
Sometimes what we haven't,
I couldn't even say. Ooh, I was trying to breathe. Like that. My bad.
Sometimes the uncomfortable situation can also turn into an unsafe one. Like some people have to downsize and move into unsafe neighborhoods with themselves and their children. So at some point, sometimes people need solutions to where they don't have to downsize into poor conditions.
Right.
You might have to then start, like Tasha was saying, being creative and finding other ways to bring in income and making more passive income to where you don't have to downsize to where you're unsafe. If that
Well,
makes
you don't
sense.
have to down. I think the point is, okay. Yeah, obviously you wouldn't jump into it like you don't want to go to the ghetto and you're a single mother with 2 kids and you got a shootout just to get to the mailbox. That ain't what we talking about, right?
Right.
We're talking about maybe a cousin, roommating, somebody else maybe in the same situation. Y'all splitting this up. That cousin may be lazy. That cousin maybe don't like to wash the dishes. It may be a headache. Okay, we understand it's going to be uncomfortable with dealing with some people, but in order to get to certain situations, that may be a requirement.
Right.
And it's temporary.
Exactly.
It's not the whole. You're not doing this for the next decade. You're doing this. Here's the thing. Everyone knows that in order to achieve a level of success, it takes sacrifice. Budgeting is sacrificing. Being uncomfortable for a little bit, that's sacrificing, but it's for long-term success. And that's what a lot of people are not willing to do, and that's what separates those that do and those that don't, the haves and the have-nots. A lot of times it's the sacrifice that people are willing to put in. So for example, budgeting, generating an expense sheet, sacrificing that time to draft it, sacrificing that time to input every month to keep track, to make sure you're staying on track to meet your financial goals. You have to do that. Otherwise, you won't succeed. It takes a little bit of work.
I got a question.
It takes a little bit of sacrifice.
So I have a question. So are we really talking about people, when we start talking about willing to sacrifice and we can't do that. I think a lot of times people are just not willing to do it because we made a point the other day. Somebody said on the Clubhouse, you could take a brother who will spend $400 on some Jordans. But if you ask that same brother to take that $400 and invest it, I don't know about that one. It comes down to mindset. In order to start budgeting, you have to have the proper mindset. I think that's what we really got to get back to and start working on first. Then we can move forward.
What's that word? Financial literacy. That's what it is. Being financially literate is what a lot of us need help with.
Yeah.
Right. And because people just look at money like, we get it, we spend it. We get it, we put in a savings account. We get it, we that's really it. We either buy stuff and spend it or we save it. And a lot of us don't understand investing. A lot of us don't understand rationing it or budgeting. Go ahead, Abaya. You have something to buy?
No, go ahead. I was my mind was popping. He's going to go ahead.
Okay. And then so when we're, like I said, 50, 30, 20 is just a baseline. So 50 is 50% of your income goes to your needs. 30 is usually 30% of your funds goes toward your wants. And then 20% is what you save. Like I said, it really just depends because everyone's situation is different. So let's say your bills are 70%. You may have to do 70, 15, 15, 70, 20, 10. You may say, I don't really buy stuff. Like I said the other day, my wife kind of laughs at it. I got clothes from the 11th grade still. I got shoes from the 11th grade.
Hold on, Darash. We got a caller.
We got a caller.
Oh, go ahead.
What's up, Colin? Appreciate you calling the Rich Man Poor Man podcast. What info you got for us today?
Hello. Thank y'all for bringing me on. I want you to comment about the making sacrifices to be able to budget.
All right, don't tell me you're not that brother spend $400 for some Jordans, right? Oh, you didn't want to sacrifice the. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
No, I'm not the brother that spent $40 on some Jordans. So in the area that I'm in, rent for studio apartments can be bordering on $2,000. We're in a very expensive area.
Whoa, where are
so
you?
Me moving out here I'm in Central Oregon, and where all the rich people in California are moving to. It's extremely expensive here.
Wow.
So when I moved out here for my son, I could not afford a rent, but I could afford to buy a duplex with down payment assistance. So what I did is I bought the duplex for $4,500, which is less than down payment to rent a place here. And I rent out every extra room and every extra units.
Nice.
So it's a little uncomfortable. I got a bunch of roommates, but if you want to budget, you have to be able to willing to make yourself uncomfortable.
Right. Right.
And let me ask you this question. How long do you plan to rent? Because I wanted to hit that too, like having an exit plan. Do you have an exit plan, or are you just going to rent until, whenever, as long as you can?
So my exit plan is to be in this house for about the next 2 years, and then to buy another duplex and rent out the other side and have the unit all to myself.
Nice.
Good.
But you have a strategy, and that's the point. There's a
Right.
strategy.
Yes.
It may not be tomorrow. It may take a year. But I would say, 2023 is going to turn into 2024, and so on. 2024 is going to turn to 2025. And you sit in the same place, or you create a strategy to say, hey, by 2024, I'm going to be here. And 2025, I'm going to be here. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you have a duplex, and you
Yes,
say
I
you're
just wanted
located
to
in
share that.
Oregon?
Yeah, Central Oregon, outside of Bend.
Outside of, well, I'm not familiar with Oregon. I don't know if I've been to Oregon. Yeah. Only time I heard of Oregon was when Florida State played against Oregon and y'all cheated. So I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's my
They got the
hometown.
coldest
Bend, you'll
uniforms.
see in a lot of magazines about moving here. So it's very advertised and very expensive. And I'm only here because my family's here.
Okay. Hey, man, we appreciate you calling in. What's your name?
Kama.
Kama.
Yes.
All right. Well, Kama, we
Okay.
definitely appreciate you calling in and sharing. And that's the way, too. It's so many different ways. So we appreciate you calling.
Thank you, Kama.
Thank y'all.
All right. Have a good one. So it's so many different ways to do what you want to do. It's like, it's just about doing it, I think, too, because we were saying earlier about putting your money in the bank, right? And we was also talking about earlier about using debit cards. I think you should, remember now, Extra. If you ain't heard of Extra, go look it up. Extra is a company that gives you a account where they connect to your debit card and you utilize your debit card like it's a credit card. They report every time you make a payment on your debit card. I think they give you like a balance, like $500, and you use that $500, and they're deducted from your account, and they're going to report to the bureaus, hey, this is how much you paid, and they report them as on-time payments. And if you know about late payments, on-time payments, that's the majority part of your credit report, and it starts to boost your credit. So if you're a debit card user, look up Extra. There are other cards out there, but I think Extra is probably one of the better ones. So definitely look that up. Also, we have to get into the mindset of not sticking all of our money in the bank, the savings account. Wealthy people do not save their money. I know that's what we've always been taught. Save. That's not what they do. What do you say? What do you think, Tasha?
Yeah, I fully agree, because you don't get that much back saving. And when you put your money in the bank, guess what the bank is doing? They're taking that money and they're going out and they're investing that money. Why can't you do the same thing with your own money? They're only giving you a fraction of what they make back on your money on a monthly basis. So they give you 0.01%, but then guess what? Your neighbor goes to the bank and he needs a second mortgage taken out. Guess what? They're charging your neighbor 5%, but you only get 0.01% of that money they're making back. That's
Right.
the reason, you got $50,000 in the bank. You can never go out and take it out in one day or in one sitting, because that money is moving. It's working on the bank's behalf.
I've seen
And
where
that's
people
the
went to
mind-
the bank and hey, let me get X amount of dollars. We can't give it to you, sir. And they fighting mad. What you mean you can't? It's my money. Man, that money ain't in the bank. They're making money with your
Right.
money. So, you can't just stick it all in there and say, hey, I'm going to save. Grandpa and grandma saved, parents saved. And even if they save 20, 30 years, life happens, right? Life happens. Those expense sheets have expenses on them, but they don't you can't plan for the unexpected. It's an expense sheet, not an unexpected sheet. And the unexpected is unexpected because we don't know what it is, right? So it just pops up. So life happens. So even if you do get an expense sheet and you are a good saver, that's good. But over 5 or 10 years, you don't know what's going to happen. Life happens, and then you got to go into that, what you've saved. So therefore, you don't want to save all of your money in the savings account, because you have to be your own bank. It's basically what Tasha's saying, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, I jumped in there. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. You have to learn how to be your own bank. So that way you don't have to go and ask permission or take off your hat and beg, so you can get your own money or you can get access to additional money. And Abaya mentioned the unexpected. Yakira put a couple of points in the chat, so I wanted to hear him or hit him. She said, I think this is based on certain things being true. I know people that an unexpected $50 expense can break them. That is very, very true.
Yes, unexpected $50 can break some people. This is why we're saying, it's all about strategy. You have to have a strategy.
That's right. And then you save for the unexpected. So what is it going to cost me if I get a flat tire or 2 flat tires? I know I need these tires to work so that way I can get my income because I use this car or this vehicle to get to and from work, or I utilize it daily for my income. Save for that. And the beauty of it is you don't have to save it all at one time. If it happens, you're going to need that money. So you can do $20 a week.
So I got a question. Anybody who got education on Nigerian bank accounts? Because I
was
read that
just about to read that.
Just put, and I'm like, hold on. He said I have one savings hack that I use. Have a Nigerian bank account. The interest on savings is phenomenal. I'm not educated on it because when I see things from Ghana or Uganda, y'all know I'm talking about them little messages you get on Facebook where they trying to scam you. I'm like, nah, I don't mess with that. But this right here looks like something
$50.
I like to be educated on.
Rhoda, if you can call in, we would definitely like to hear about that. Is the interest? Is it a compounding interest account? And if it's a savings account, we might move to Nigeria. But that's sad.
Because they be over there with some money. A lot of times, they show us, the desert and the little babies who are hungry. But when you actually see like Nigeria and a lot of these countries, they are living lavish over there. So yeah, sis, let us know about those bank accounts.
Yeah, I be seeing those weddings. They be like throwing $1,000 around at the wedding. I'm that brother picking it all up, and y'all crazy. I ain't need
I'll take it.
Yeah, they made it rain on me. Cool.
Yeah, for real. Right. But if you don't have a Nigerian bank account, we're waiting for either. If you're not on a call, please do us a favor, throw it in the chat. Let's get that hacked.
Right.
But that's one way. I'm not familiar with that way, but that's one way. What we've been doing with our tax clients. I don't know how I mix the words up. What we've been doing with our tax clients is encouraging them, and that's all we can do is encourage. We are encouraging them. Oh, she says she's at work, so she can't call in. Well, we'll look into it. We appreciate that nugget, though. So we've been encouraging our tax clients to take their money, the money that you didn't have all year. You didn't have this money all year, right? Take that money, put it in an IUL, right? We've been talking a lot about IULs and mutual funds, but we encourage, if your financial level isn't there as high as, you would like it to be, we're encouraging them to put it in IUL, because once it's in the IUL, listen, people, if this is your first time on this show and you don't know about what an IUL, how it works, it is a life insurance policy, but it's a life insurance policy with a cash benefit if it's structured properly, right? Take that money, put it in there. Let's say $6,000, for example. You put it in there and you're still able to use 90% of your money. So you put $6,000 in, let's say you take $3,000 out. Guess what? You still have $3,000 left. Remember, this is tax money. You just put it in IUL. Now you have a savings that you can utilize without it disappearing. And then what you're going to do on your next year's tax returns, you're going to put it in there as well. And this money is compounding on top of each other. So this is one way you can get out and start budgeting. This is just one of the many ways. What she said, a friend of mine suggested that to me in 2015. So, hey, she been banging since 2015.
Yeah, that's 7 years right there. Shoot, that's a good amount of time.
Right. Mm-hmm. She must have developed some understanding of that whole process by this point. So hopefully we can pick her brain about
information.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's just the name of the bank, so we can start researching. Can you drop the name of the bank that you use?
Hey, she's trying to. I ain't telling y'all my secret. I didn't want to tell y'all what I do.
Like I'm at work.
Hey, listen.
Don't be gatekeeping.
We know where you at. And, hey, I know what state you live in. Now, don't forget. Now, I know where you at. Knock on your door.
Oh man. See that. But going back to that point too, that Tasha touched on, a lot of us, the mindset that we had, I think Abaya said it too. The mindset that we had is financial literacy is making money and saving it. That's it. That's all we know. Making it and saving it, or we spend it. That's like the only two things we know how to do with the money. Investing, when we hear investing, we're like, okay, real estate, but I don't have 20% to put down. I don't have 5% to put down. I don't have $4,000 a month to try to get this rental property and pay the mortgage, or if in case nobody rents it. Like, we're not even talking about mortgage. Well, I don't know anything about stocks. We're not talking about stocks either, right? To the point of what was just brought up, IULs. IULs is one. Mutual funds is one. Now, the cool thing about mutual funds is you can get someone who actually watches over your accounts. So we have this. It's crazy how, because I remember even growing up, all I knew was, I got money, I save it, I put it in my drawer, I put it in my box, my shoe box, I put it in my piggy bank, whatever it was. But
you
a
save
lot of
money
us
in
don't
the shoe box?
I did. Not anymore. I did though.
It's in the graham cracker box. No?
Hey,
I didn't even know what to say to that. Like,
hey, just like Rhoda, she put I'm gonna call you. So hey, it's a secret bank of West Africa. That's the name of it.
Right.
Right.
Somebody
That's
says,
what it
how
is.
much for the link? What link? Which link are you talking about? Oh, the IUL info. Info.
Okay.
What's wrong with me and my words today? Info.
Hey,
I'm rubbing off on you.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. It's all your fault.
That's
It's
what
always
it
your
is.
fault.
All the time.
You got to stop talking to her every day.
I'll put my calendar in the comment section and then like just book a day on there. I'll put that in there for you in a second.
I got it.
You got it? All right, appreciate it. But yeah, other than saving money in the shoebox, you should put your money somewhere where it's gonna grow. Hey, Darash, you ain't still doing that. Did you say you still doing that?
Listen, nah, I ain't still doing
He like,
that,
I moved it
but-
from the shoebox to the mason jar.
Under the mattress.
It's under
They
the
moved
mattress
up from
right now.
Nikes to Reebok.
Nah, I never did mattress money. I never did that. No. But now here's the thing. There's a lot of people that do that, which is why I had brought that up, because depending on your demographic, some people do shoebox money. Some people do mattress money. Some people do, well, I just have a savings account money, because a lot of people, no matter the demographic, can learn a lot more and gain a lot more financial literacy. A lot of them are still stunted as far as their growth and understanding in those areas.
Well, check this out. So with that being said, I'm gonna give it right. I think it was Tiara. I'm gonna give it right back to you.
Tasha.
I think what's going on is that stunting that you're talking about is the same thing. Remember, I told you I was talking to a guy, and he was like, if I didn't know you personally, I think everything you saying is cap. Like I wouldn't even believe what you're telling me if I didn't know you personally and know that you're not the type of individual just put information out that's not true. So when he said that, I really appreciated him saying that, because one, it allowed me to further understand the mindset, right? When you tell people, especially those in the Black community who are not privy or used to this type of information, it sounds like a scam. We have to stop. Remember, it's all about changing your mindset. You have to stop. Okay, it's not a scam if I'm not asking you to pay me. Now, if I'm asking you to pay me all your money, now you probably think this is a scam, right? But I'm telling you where to go get these accounts, how to utilize these accounts, how to do it. This is the information. So you're not paying me. You're putting your money in these particular accounts. We're telling you, and this is what this, again, the link is at the top. If you have not filed your taxes, do so with Receptive Concepts, because this is what we're doing with our tax clients. Again, we can't make them do anything with their money, but we're encouraging them, hey, listen, take your money, put it right here. This is a safe bet. Trust me on that, right? And just look into it. Don't be one of those people be like, well, I was thinking about it. Then my friend told me, nah, that wasn't a good idea. Your friend is the equivalent to a single woman who's never been married telling you, a married woman, how bad your husband are, right? Ask her, have you ever had a IUL? No, I've never had one. Then how you got all the information, the positives and the negatives on it? Don't know nothing about it. Don't let those type of people discourage you, and then you be sitting 2 years later, hey, Abaya, how'd you get that? Same way I told you 2 years ago. There are individuals, Tasha, are there not individuals from 2 years ago that we've been, do this? And now they looking at, oh, how'd you get there? The same way I told you 2 years ago. Don't let those individuals, don't let those single women equivalents be the ones. And we use single women because,
Single women
you know,
equivalents.
Hey, just like Kevin Samuels said, they're gonna die alone. It'd be like on
Here he come.
Aladdin. You're gonna die a street rat. There you go.
I ain't mean
Go-
Kevin
go.
Samuels. I don't like Kevin. I just use the single women who try and talk about the married
It's
women.
always
Rick
Rick.
loves some.
Go.
He gonna get us
gonna-
canceled for real. We ain't no Kevin Samuels around here. Now it goes with the
Says
brothers
single
too, though.
women? Oh, Uncle Kev. Hold on.
But it goes with the brothers as well. Them brothers who always in your ear, man, bro, I wouldn't be doing that. They are the same equivalent as those men or women. Don't let an individual, I don't care who they are, get in your ear and stop you. Because someone said that to us one time. She's like, well, somebody told me that was bad. Listen, when they book meetings, now I used to do these meetings for free, right? I would just, Tasha tell you, I was getting really frustrated, because I would find out, I would sit down with somebody for an hour. Sometimes they lasted 2 hours, just giving them information. And the first half hour, 45 minutes of that, it's like me convincing you to go do something good for you. Okay, I got to convince you, I'm not going to waste any more of my time, So what I'm going to do is, okay, book on the calendar. You're going to pay for my time, because it's like I'm doing this on the Clubhouse. We're doing this on the YouTube. I'm sitting down with brothers and sisters and whoever, and I'm giving out this information, and yet they do nothing with it. Except for come back 2 years later. How did you get? It's annoying. The information is real. Utilize it. So if you're in that situation where you just can't get out of the check situation, that's an option. Use your income taxes. Your income taxes can be that catapult to you starting to build wealth. It's just you knowing how to use it. That's it. Tasha, what do you have?
Okay, so I wanted to hit on, again, that knowing how to use it, because Tom called in and he made a very good point. And we mentioned the exit plan. So what you should do basically is aim for a target.
Right.
Aim for a goal. You set up a goal for yourself. Examine where you are. That's the budget sheet. Break down exactly where you are. Are you making enough? Is there something you can cut back on? Anything you can cut back on, take that extra money and save it. That's setting up a plan or a goal. I know I can save $50 every month. Start there. And then you find ways to make extra money on top of that if you need to. But what that tells you is how long you're going to be doing this for. That way, that's your exit plan. In 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I'm going to be in a better position. And that will keep you motivated, because it's not going to be easy. And to Yakira's point, because she mentioned, well, suppose you're making minimum wage. Well, you have options. Change your job, change your positions. There's jobs now online that pay you $25 an hour.
Yeah.
That is much better and going to put you in a much better position than the $10 an hour job.
Right.
Maybe uncomfortable.
You can't be like, well, I don't want to. Some people are like, well, I don't want to do phone work. Well, again, you have to be uncomfortable sometimes to come out of your situation.
Right.
Right.
And even the living situation, well, what if you make minimum wage? Okay, you make minimum wage and you find someone. I've met people that have done stuff like this, and I'm not saying to this extent you have to go, but people be like, I'll personally just live out of my car for the whole year. Ain't no bills. I'm working. I got a gym membership. I go take a shower at the gym. I'm not saying to this extent you have to go, but people are willing to get that uncomfortable where I'm just gonna sleep in my car. I ain't got no bills. Whatever money I'm making is going straight to my pocket or my account, wherever I'm doing it. I got a couple of bills, my gym membership to make sure I can shower, my phone bill, of course, gas car note if my car has a note. But everything else I'm pocketing, and I'm gonna do that for a year. I'm gonna do that for 2 years. And now look at all the money I've accrued to be able to put myself in the position that I wanted to put myself in.
Right. And most self-made millionaires, if you listen to their stories, they've been in that position. Tyler Perry was actually in that position, right? He lived out of his vehicle. He was homeless.
Yeah.
When you listen to, I'm not talking about the ones who were born into money. I'm talking about self-made millionaires. They had to go through some uncomfortable situations in order to get to where they are, right? So it's like you have to do these things at some point. You gotta. Growth is painful sometimes. Yeah. Growth is painful. You ever went to the gym and tried to lift them weights? That burning in your muscle. That's because growth is painful. That's a part of growth.
I'm sore now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, you know no gym. Just playing. I'm joking. I'm joking. So, but no, really, first off, to get to where you got to go, to get to where you want to go, you got to change your mindset. Remember, I was saying this earlier. Like, again, you see this thing? This thing was like $300 some, right? And I was sitting here like, I ain't no way in the world I'm gonna buy this thing for $300. But I knew I wanted it. I wanted it, and also it was a need. I mean, it was an investment for what I was doing. So a lot of my meetings, a lot of the shows, everything that we do, this was a need. But I sat there for months, and I wouldn't purchase it until I realized, hey, this is an investment for what I'm doing. And then I finally purchased it. I had to change my mindset because before, it's crazy. When I had less money, I used to spend money like crazy. Now that I have more money and now I understand how money works a little bit better, financial literacy, I know how to spend it. That's the problem. A lot of people don't know how to spend money. What do you think?
That's right.
You got to know how to spend
agreement.
money.
You have to know how to spend it and that you don't need to wear it. You don't need to
or eat it.
Don't do that.
You don't need to eat it.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
that's true.
You're taking a lot of shots right now. Yeah,
that's not a shot. That's the truth. You think
Shots
about
fired.
it. That's
No,
why people.
not to me, but to people, like in their mind, they feel like I think Abaya might have said this a couple of weeks back.
Hey, Tasha's not hearing this.
Rich
No,
people. No. But hear me out. I'm not for us. I absolutely understand, but I'm saying to everyone else. Like a lot of people don't understand what you just said. Like to them, it's like they feel attacked. Abaya said it not too long ago. Rich people, you look at the like really rich and wealthy people, Target shorts,
Yep.
some
New Balance
K-Swiss,
shoes.
some New Balance, and a T-shirt. Like you look at Adam Sandler, you look
And
at
a Honda Civic.
Steve Jobs, you look at all of these people
Mark
who are
Zuckerberg.
crazy rich. They dress like regular individuals.
They wear the
But
same color T-shirt.
But then you got and then you got those people who need to show you that they're rich, and they putting it on here. They putting it on their head. They putting it on their clothes. They putting it on their shoes. They putting
Every
it on
finger.
their hands. Yep,
Yeah.
every finger.
And
a lot of people don't understand that. They think I got money. Let me show you I got money.
Right. There was an artist, and I'm gonna give it right back to you after this, Tasha. There was an artist. I don't know because I don't listen to a lot of modern or today's rappers, and he was talking about his jewelry. Now, again, me and Tasha, we see eye to eye. We don't wear our money. I can count on one. This is crazy. I'm not saying to live how I live. I'm just telling you. I can count on one hand, maybe two, how many outfits I really got. I don't really have a lot of clothes, right? I kind of, I wash and rewear the same thing. I'm not really big into fashion like that, like when I was younger. So I could tell you I got, but if I wanted to, I can walk into the mall and I could buy in every store from one end to the other and don't have to check the prices. Why don't I do that? Because I don't wear my money. That's what they're trying to tell you. We've learned how to spend money. Now, again, this thing I bought it because it was an investment, right? Now, as we start learning more about like taxes and write-offs, learning how to spend money, guess what? So now it clicked on me like, oh, wow, I actually can go buy some clothes. I can go get haircuts because now haircuts, like I'm from the day when haircuts were like $10. Now they $50, right? So I'm not going to spend $50 on a haircut. You're crazy. Oh, wait, tax write-off. Why? Because this is a part of my business. I sit in front of the camera. The IRS says I can do that. I actually go buy some more clothes if I wanted to. I could write that off too. All that's going to come back to me. But yet it's benefiting me. It's just learning how to spend money. I had 2014 Dodge Charger, right? It was still a good car. You don't get another car. Everybody asks, when you get another car? I'm not. I wasn't buying another car. For what? This thing had 2014 and still only got like 80,000 miles on it. Why would I go buy another car? Well, then when I understood and learned that the 100% write-off for a SUV vehicle over 6,000 pounds was about to expire, I'm like, okay, I knew I was going to get a new car eventually, but just not right now. So at that point, let me go get the SUV because now I can write that off at 100%. So I wrote it off 100%, which means what? It was free. It's just learning how to spend the money. And I drive it every day. It got 2,000 miles on it now, right? I don't from Georgia to Florida, right? It's drive it every day. It's my vehicle. I take that back. It's not my vehicle. It's my business's vehicle. I own the business. So I don't own the vehicle, but I own the business. I own nothing, but I control everything. It's learning how to spend your money. Really quick, and I'm going to give it to Tasha. There's a reason why there's a 2% in the world. A 2%, and I say this a lot, a 2% exists for a reason. 2% is how many people really understand what they need to do how they need to do it in order to make their finances get to where they want them to be. The other 98% is distracted by everything else. The Super Bowl, the clubhouse debates, the fights, the this, that. And when it's all over, all the people who got $1 million in the Super Bowl gonna go spend $1 million in the club, and you go home and figure out how you're gonna pay next month's rent. Oh, that's mean. I'm not being mean. I'm trying to really paint reality of how we really living, because we're focused on other things. Now, I'm not saying don't ever watch anything. I'm not saying don't ever have fun. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is, if you know how to do it, then you can do it. Enjoy your life as best that you can, enjoy your life, but yet you don't have to, you just got to learn how to benefit yourself. Right. And that goes back to knowing how to spend the money. Again, I'm beating the hell out this dead horse. I bet the horse is dead. He's going to resurrect and be like, man, stop hitting me. Right. I'm beating the hell out this dead horse. Right. We're telling our clients, listen, you got thousands of dollars now, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Put it here really quickly. There's something called rich people math versus poor people math. Rich people math versus poor people math. Rich people math versus poor people math. Poor people math says this: I put $1,000 in the bank, I take out $500, I have $500 left. Rich people math states, I put $1,000 in an IUL or a mutual fund, I take out $500, I got $1,000 left. Why don't you put your money where the rich people put theirs? You still can utilize your money and still have your money left. But go ahead, Tasha.
Yeah. I wanted to say, it's like we're in a real life Monopoly game, and we don't even have a seat at the table, honestly, because of where we are. So if you are a game player, board game player, you understand you have to learn the rules of the game. As Abaya mentioned, learn some of these tax laws. Get yourself an EIN, get yourself a business, and then earn yourself a seat at the table. Nobody's going to give you a seat. It doesn't work that way here, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So you have to earn your seat at the table, learn the rules of the game, and then learn how you can play within the game. It's hard to play Monopoly if you don't know the rules.
Right.
And a lot of people, they're pass and go, keeping with this metaphor, and they're collecting their $200. You're paying out $200. How can you change that?
Not just paying out 200, also paying as you go around the board, paying as you land on each person's block.
Exactly, because you don't own anything. You own no property, aka assets. You don't own anything to collect anything.
So let's. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up, and I'll jump in when you're done.
Okay, so that is the thing. That's the name of the game. Learn how you can earn a seat at the table. Learn how you can make a little bit of extra income. See where you can cut corners to budget. Right. A lot of us comfortably pay 10% every Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Right.
10% every Sunday. That means
fired.
You can save. Yeah, you can save 10% and pay it to yourself. That's your starting point.
You can.
It's not gonna kill you. And when you need it, it's gonna be there. Because that 10% you've been religiously putting away.
They some heathens. They talking about the tithes money. Listen. I guarantee you, Pastor. All right. Check this out.
He better not.
You want to pay 20% like a buyer though.
Right. 20. I take it. If y'all don't want, I take it. Listen, everybody watching this, we encourage everybody who watch us to establish a business. You are a lot of times working for free. Even when you're sitting down and let's say you're educating somebody, just talking to them, that is something that you can write off in your expenses or during the IRS. Know the value of your time. Now, again, everybody was rebuking me. Hey, why aren't you charging? Darash, one of them. Why aren't you charging for this information? I'm just going to help people. It took people to get on my nerves to the level of just not utilizing information. Me having to try and convince you for 40 minutes that it's real. Like, you know what? I am going to charge for this because I'm wasting my time at this point. I'm tired of wasting my time. You don't have to waste your time. We encourage everybody, start a business. LLC, S Corp, C Corp, but not a sole proprietorship. Don't do that. All right? Start a business. I'm going to give you the steps on how to start a business. And I'm going to drop these nuggets real quick. And then next Sunday, we'll go through on how to build business credit. to bring yourself out of the hole. Trust me. Business credit is so much more beautiful than personal credit. Quick example. All of my cards, I keep like a $1, maybe $2 balance on them. I don't even use it. I got like a small card, right? It's like $1,000, right? So I went and bought something for $200. And since I don't really use the cards, I don't have them set up on auto pay. So I end up forgetting to make the payment. I was like a couple of days late. So my credit score dropped like 30 points. Like, damn, really? That's 20% usage. But I guess my usage had always been so low, 20% was high, right? So I'm like, that's only 20% usage. I just forgot to make the payment. 30 points. Credit fail. My business credit cards, let's use when I got my one of my first business credit cards was Bank of America. They gave me like $10,000 credit, right, off the business. They encouraged me to spend half of it. Spend $5,000, we'll give you $500. I spent $5,000. I had $500 given to me. Why? Business, they expect you to spend. Personal, I don't know what the hell they expect. They give it to you and say, don't touch it. If you touch it, we're going to penalize you. It makes zero sense. So we encourage people to start a business. Start utilizing the business credit. You can do this without your personal credit. So here are the steps. I'm just going to run them. It's 7 steps. I'm going to list them off to you. Get them quickly. First, form an LLC, C Corp, or S Corp within your state. Secondly, get you a EIN. All right. That's an employee identification number. That's the equivalent of a social security number for a business. Third, get your DUNS number. That's Dun and Bradstreet. You got to get a DUNS number. Okay. Fourth, go to iPostal and it's like a monthly fee, maybe $20 or something like that. Somewhere in that range. Get an address. Don't be trying to use a P.O. box. It's never going to work. All right. You don't want to use your home address because people can look up where you live. So get a virtual address, which is a real business address. It's called iPostal One. iPostal One. They will give you an address. Then you get a business website. Go somewhere like Wix. It's like $16 a month. You ain't even got to build a website. Just put your business name on it. Boom, you're good. After that, you want to get a business email. As soon as you get that, they're going to say, hey, so if your business email was called, I don't know, RMP Industries, they're going to say, okay, it's a buyer at rmpindustries.com. So that's a business address. Then go to Google and create you a Google listing that's free. Once you do those things, you can start building business credit. Trust me, you can start building business credit. So if you want the rest of that, got to tune in next week. That's as far as I'm going. Tune in next week, and we're going to show you how to build business credit as well. But we finna get ready to get out of here. Listen, I'm going to let Tasha tell y'all, but the link is pinned up top. Hit us up, receptiveconcepts.com. If you need your taxes done, we don't only do taxes. We try and teach our clients how to build wealth. All right. So let's get out of here. Tasha, what you got to have to say before we hit the road?
All right. Budgeting is going to be your first step, most important steps. There's too many apps out there that are free. So make sure you check them out. I also want to tell you, you can visit the website if you're interested in getting your taxes done, receptiveconcepts.com. I did post it in the chat. If you just want to drop a quick hello or have a suggestion, you can reach me on Twitter. That's Tasha_ISTN. Or you can send an email if you just have some questions about taxes or something at Tasha@receptiveconcepts.com.
Hey, real quick too. Now, I keep saying this. This is what we're doing for our clients. That doesn't mean if you're not a client, we won't work with you as far as setting up IULs. But at the same time, there is a charge. So if you book a appointment with me, there is going to be a little charge. Again, I was doing it for free for a long time, but it was a complete waste. So I'm just not trying to waste my time anymore. Either you're going to do it or you're not. Now, to say everybody can go. Everybody can go. That's why it's a 2% in the world. No matter how much information you give some people, it's always well, you know what? I ain't got time for that. Listen, if you're serious and you're trying to change your mindset, you're trying to get to the point where you're not check to check, make sure you hit the link. File your taxes. We're going to show you how to use your tax money to work for you. Stop buying $4,000 TV and you ain't get but $4,050 tax return. That's crazy. That's not make no sense. Hey, Rick, what you got before we get up out of here?
Oh, shoot, not a lot. I'm just with you on that. Hey, don't get that TV rolled out in front of Walmart.
Guys, what's up? Hey, Darash, what you got?
Man, so real quick recap. Speaking about budgeting, make sure you guys work on an expense sheet. Make sure you guys keep track and keep that expense sheet updated. The 50-30-20 rule, learning to budget your funds, expenses and needs, wants and savings, and understand the difference between saving and investing. All of these things are very pertinent in budgeting and establishing wealth. So I just wanted to put that out there one last time, and make sure y'all tune in next week when we get into business credit, because I believe that's going to be very pertinent information as well.
Awesome. Hebrew Daughter says, I'm using a tablet which won't let me access your website or the clubhouse. This frustrates me because I don't know how to reach you. I'm not sure. It has to be the tablet, I'm guessing.
Maybe it's the browser. It might not be a compatible browser. Sometimes that happens.
Eastgate 613 says locked in. I'm thinking he says he's locked into the show, or he's going to be in, or maybe the website's not working for him. Let me test his website. Let me see if I can go to the website. Make sure ain't nothing wrong
I'm
with the
assuming
site.
he's saying he's locked into this, like get the information and following, rocking with us. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the website's working just fine. So yeah, maybe it's the tablet.
Try the Chrome.
Or try your phone.
Yeah.
Or Chrome browser.
Yeah, you can definitely pull it up on your phone. Try that.
Yeah. Now, mind you, make sure. Oh, you say he booked. Okay, awesome. Looking forward to sitting down with you. We're gonna go through this info, and that's another thing too. If people are booking now, I know they're not spending their money for nothing. They're the ones that book now versus coming through the free meetings. They're definitely gonna use the information. And what I'm looking forward to is when they use the information, because it's not like that type of thing where it just worked for you and it won't work for me. No. These are laws that are written. If it don't work for you and it worked for me, you got a lawsuit on your hand now because it's supposed to work for you. This is just information, not that we're lucky. It's just that we know the information. So we're going to make sure you know the information. So definitely looking forward to it. Tierra, what you got before we get up out of here?
Self-discipline. Definitely. We need to collectively work on our self-discipline so we can get out of the situations that a lot of us tend to find ourselves in. But aside from that, I created a space for women who are passionate about homemaking, homeschooling, organization, recipes, all the things. You can find me at mamasathome.com. That's MAMAS at home.com. I have a lot of cold pressed juice and recipes coming too, so you definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, she actually, I had to vet it. I thought she was. Hey, put that in the chat. I had to vet it. I thought she was still in those pictures. And, she really cook it. She's really making food like that. I didn't believe it at first. So she make all types of stuff.
Some of them she be stealing.
Yeah. She make all type of stuff like Christmas cookies. She make all type of stuff, like everything. So hey, definitely check it out. Definitely check her out.
Hey, Anthony Lawson, you can sign in too. You can watch it.
Yeah. I mean, the men are welcome, but it's primarily for the women. But if y'all want to come get a recipe, y'all come get one too.
Yeah, Anthony, you probably should go on and get a recipe. You probably can get a recipe.
Need a cornbread recipe.
Yeah.
Tierra can do everything from scratch. She can even start an argument from scratch. Go ahead.
All praises.
Yeah. She starts a lot of those. With that being said, we're about to get out of here. Make sure y'all tune in next week. We're going to be going over business credit. Make sure. Well, actually, that's not our topic next week. What is our topic next week?
We are covering passive income.
Passive income. Well, business credit as well. But we're gonna do the finish up towards the end of the show. We're gonna give it how to get the business credit though. But next week we're talking about passive income. Passive income. It's not a better feeling to be asleep, wake up, and you just made $2,000. Like really. So we ain't just trying to hold. That's the crazy part. We're not trying to hold on to the information. We ain't like it's a secret. Get back. No. Make sure, man. Take these podcasts, take the shows, send them to your family and friends. Now, just like we're trying to give y'all the information, you all should be trying to send it to as many people as possible. Like, why not? Why are we not sharing the information with everybody? That's what we got. That's another mindset we got to change. We got to get out of that mindset as well. Hey, but listen, with that being said, we are about to get out of here. Make sure you're here next week at 1:00. We operate on color people time sometimes. It might be 1:15, but it's going to be around 1:00 next week. Make sure y'all here 1:00 next week talking about passive income. How do you get it? All right. Till then, we are out.